Chicago Fire has done an amazing job at creating hype this winter by getting new signings, getting rid of the dead weights, and of course, returning back to red. But before we get started, welcome into Firewatch FC! The easiest way to fix a roster is by getting rid of everything that didn't work last year. So we have to think back, what didn't work last year? Well, Jairo Torres didn't work. He was a designated young international player and he just didn't work out. I don't like bashing players because they can do way better things than I ever could, but he didn't live up to the expectation. He was getting paid a certain amount, and as a DP, you're expected to perform day in and day out. Unfortunately, Jairo Torres didn't. Then we have Kacper Przybylko. Where to begin with my boy Przybylko? Again, he has an athletic ability that I do not possess. Okay? All the respect to you, sir. But as an MLS professional player, you didn't work. I'm sorry. He was brought in 2 seasons ago to be our striker. We thought that he would be able to use his large stature to really get into the goal, become an aerial threat. But he wasn't. And honestly, quite the opposite. The few chances that the Chicago Fire would create would go to him, and he would miss them. Sometimes wide open shots, and the shots he did convert this last season, I can count at least 2 instances where his initial shot was blocked by the goalkeeper. He would just be lucky enough to get the rebound. I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. So Kacper Przybylko has gone to Lugano FC, Chicago Fire's sister club over in Switzerland. Now with the negative bits out of the way, let's focus on the good. Personally, I actually really liked Arnold Suke, and I'm glad to say that he actually gets to stay because he was granted a green card, so he no longer takes an international spot in the roster, which in MLS is kind of a big deal. And sticking with defenders, we also transferred in Andrew Gutman as our new left back. And that is huge because he is our very own Chicago native. This came about by a successful transfer by letting go of Miguel Navarro to Colorado Rapids and receiving Andrew Gutman in return. Wonderful trade. I think we won that one. Andrew Gutman was at one point signed by Celtic of the Scottish Premiership and has been a great left back since then for the MLS. With Chase Gaspar as his backup, we finally have some good depth on our back line. Next up on the midfield, we have the one and only ACOSTA. One of the biggest issues with Chicago Fire has been not being able to create chances. Last year, even with the addition of a proven striker by signing Kai Kamara, we still weren't able to score because not enough chances were created. Now with ACOSTA being an amazing midfielder for the MLS, we can finally start making real chances for our strikers to take advantage of. And of course, what's the point of making all of these chance creations if we don't have someone up front to really get it going? Hugo CUYPERS from Ghent is now our DP number 9. Finally, the Chicago Fire has been missing an elite striker forever. And now with good enough chance creations coming from ACOSTA, let's not forget that Shaqiri is still there in the midfield. And on his day, he is a threat, he is a chance creator. We also have Brian Gutierrez on the left of Shaqiri creating chances, an amazing creative player. And we have Chris Muller to the right, servicing all the balls in for Hugo CUYPERS. With a strong back line, a creative midfield, fast wingers, and with a number 9 that can actually get the ball to the back of the net, the Chicago Fire finally has a team that can really get them at the bare minimum into the playoffs. And they're going to do it in style with, of course, the return in red. And I mean, look at this beautiful jersey. Finally, how can the Chicago Fire be Fire without having red in their jerseys? I don't know. But it's finally here. That's all that matters. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you're just as hyped as I am. And I'll follow up every Chicago Fire game with a video going over what players did good, what players did bad, and of course, how did the coach do on this one. Thank you all, and I hope to see you soon.